Hi there. If you've watched a few of my previous videos, you may have noticed that one of the best strategies I recommend to understand any position is to change the position. So let's first of all look at this position and see if we can understand how red should play 5-1, and let's change it to see if we can change the position to make 5-1 play differently by changing the position and what we need to do to make it play differently and how you would play differently. First of all, how do you play a 5-1 here? Okay, hopefully you realize that in this position your goal is to get a shot. You're way behind in the race, and you might win a race by going 18-13 because of all the wastage that white has. By wastage I mean extra checkers on the 1, 2, and 3 points in the opening 4, 5, and 6. This race is not as bad as it looks, the 27 pips, but it's still pretty bad. Your odds of winning a race are not that good by racing, but your odds of winning by getting a shot, by staying back, if your opponent rolls any 3, 4, or 5, or 6, he's forced to break his midpoint, and if he doesn't roll a 6, he's not hitting, and even many of the times when he does hit, you get many return shots. So you really have a game plan to stay back, get a shot, and hit. So the right play is to stay back, and of course making the ace point makes sense as well. Let me use the arrows to show you. That makes a lot of sense. Coming up to minimize shots and going to the 13 is not in the radars. I only show the top 10 plays, and I don't need to go beyond that many. I could, by the way, if you ever want to see it, right click, hit show all moves, and then you can go down and see every play, including moving 18-13. Where is 18-13? Here we go. It's only a 49% error. You win the game 22% of the time trying to race, as opposed to 44% of the time staying back. So at what point would you make another play? Well, let's change the position. This is again how I recommend you learn. You'll understand this position and remember it if you understand the principles, because it's too hard to memorize every single position and where every checker should be. So in this position, what would you do? Would you change the play? Would you still stay back? Or are you now more inclined to race? Okay, well, first of all, getting hit here is death, as opposed to the last position where you had 3 open points. So that's a major incentive not to stay back and get hit with all these shots. How many shots are there? My students all know instantly how many shots there are from 6 away. There are 36 possible shots, and there are 17 numbers that hit 6 away. All 6s, plus double 2, double 3, 4, 1, 1, 4, 5, 1, 1, 5. That's about it. 17 shots. Why is it important to know the numbers instantly? So you don't have to stop and count over the board. Use your mental acuity that way, use up your time that way, and you might count wrong. And you might forget what else you were supposed to be thinking about while you're counting all those shots. So just learn it's 17 shots. Learn all the numbers for all positions and hits. Anyway, now your goal is not to stay back. You can't take the risk of getting hit, and you have a really good chance to race, so you would certainly play 18-13. We've seen how the position changes, and staying back, is it on the radar? No. There's a couple of 18-17s. That's an interesting play as well. Well, let's talk about that. When and why would you play 18-17? Let's see if we can see if there's a rationale to play 18-17 when he has 2 checkers here. And let's say that you're behind even more in the race, for example. Let's see. Let me change the position to something where I think 18-17 might be a candidate. Alright, how's this? Now, what's your play? You're pretty well dead in the race, but you also don't want to get hit. Staying back on the 18 point, you do get hit 17 times. When will you get a shot? The problem with this play is nothing leaves a shot. He either hits you with sixes, and anything less than a 6 he can play inside. He rolls a 5-4, 5-2, or anything with a 5 in it. But if you play 18-17, now you have a chance for getting a shot. If he rolls any 6 except 6-5 and double 6, you're going to get a shot, a direct shot. You could win the game. You're also less likely to get hit when you move this checker 1 pip. How many times do you get hit when it's 5 away? It's 17 times from 6 away. Well, it's 15 times from here. It's all 5s, which is 11, plus 3, 2, and 2, 3, plus 4, 1, and 1, 4. 15 times. So you're less likely to get hit, and you might be able to get a shot from here. So why wouldn't you go all the way and reduce it to 11 shots? You certainly are less likely to get a shot. But now he goes past you with everything that's higher than a 1, and he hits you with a 1. So if he rolls a low racing number that has a 1 in it, he hits you. And if he doesn't roll a 1, the odds are he's rolled a better racing number, and now you're even further behind in the race. You're down 10 pips before you started, and he's on roll, and we're assuming he doesn't roll a 1 if you're going to race from here, which makes it a very bad racing chance. So the right play here would be 18-17, something a lot of people don't even think about. They usually think about 18-13 or staying back on the 18, one of the two. But 18-17's got to be the right play here. Let's see. How do I know this? How am I so smart? I'm not so smart. I've studied this. I've done this exercise. I do it all the time. I do it with students all the time. This is how you understand the plays. Don't just look at any one of these plays and say, oh, I should do this at this position. You need to know the reasons and the logic behind it and how and when the play changes. And that way, for any of these positions when they'll come up, you're more likely to get them right because you can reason through them. Giving you something to work with, not a reference position that you have to memorize. We're not all like Michi with 70,000 reference positions that he goes through at 70 a day and tries to memorize. Most of us are normal human beings that don't have the capacity to even comprehend 7,000 reference positions. Or 10,000, I'm sorry, 10,000 reference positions and try to do 70 a day and remember them. And I'm not criticizing Michi. That's a great, wonderful approach if you can do it and if you have time. But I guarantee you that Michi also looks at the reasons why. Every single time he's not sure or makes a mistake, he's not thinking, how am I going to remember this position better? He's thinking, why is it right to hit? Or why is it right to move up here? And the combination of the two is what can make you a great player. Hope this exercise helped, but more than helping you with these positions, I hope it helps you analyze every checker play decision that you have. By the way, the same thing applies to cube action. Change the position slightly. When is it not a double? When does it turn into a double? When does it turn into a drop? When does it become too good? By moving checkers around, that's how you really understand the game. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.